I've got Terence Roby AKA C.H.R.O.M.E. He is a host here in Las Vegas for Sports Talk Raw. He is sports extraordinaire, knows his business in sports, loves boxing. He's all tapped in for this fight, ready to go. What's up, Terence? How's it going?
What's going on, man? Armando, my guy, thank you for having me on here. Highly appreciate it, man. Just excited about this fight, man. It's been a bunch of good fights these past couple months coming up, and now this is another one we got coming up. There's a lot leading up to it. Still kind of undecided, but decided about it. But I'm sure we'll get into that. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on, bro.
You're welcome. Next up, I got Saul Rios. He is a boxing promoter of Borizteca Boxing. He has been a longtime partner with me in Best in Boxing, doing shows down in Tijuana, and also did Chavez Jr. versus Anderson Silva down in Mexico, and a longtime friend. So how's it going, Saul?
How you doing, Armando? It's been a while, since a couple of years. It's nice to be back and talk about this fight. That's a big fight. I think it's about 10 fights where two prime fighters are going to face each other at their prime age, record, everything. So it's going to be a great fight. I'm going to be nice talking about it.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, I got Chris Martin. Chris Martin is a former professional fighter, knows business inside and out. Who's also been a broadcaster for me on Best in Boxing, as well as was a broadcaster for Tribute to the Kings fight down in Mexico. How's it going, Chris?
Everything is good, Armando. Thank you for having me, man. Saul, Terence, Vince, let's do this. Let's talk boxing.
Nice. And then next up, I got Vince Parra, future Hall of Fame trainer in the house. Vince is a master technician, teaching fighters from all over the world. He's got world champions under his belt. Mauricio Hesta worked with him, started his career off, and then of course he's got the went all the way with his boy, and I'm just drawing a blank, man. Who you got?
Maurice Hooker.
Maurice Hooker. Thank you very much, man. Maurice is made his way to the top because Vince, because of you, Vince. So welcome.
Welcome. Great to be out here with all you guys, man. This is a great fight. Let's get into it.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of, first of all, the fact that this fight is we have to recognize or just throw some props to both guys for getting this fight done in an era where fighters are not fighting. Now we finally have a fight where we got guys getting in the ring, top guys in their prime. It's been a long time since we've seen something like this. What do you guys think? Go for it, Terence. What do you think?
Kind of a question to answer. Do you think this fight happened because he's no longer with Floyd Mayweather's management and that he got to be able to make these moves with that?
I believe that if he was still with Floyd, this fight wouldn't be happening yet, just because of the Floyd playbook. What worked for Floyd worked for Floyd. It didn't, but that's what he knows, and so that's what he teaches. I truly believe that Floyd made his money by being a bad guy and fighting guys not in their prime. There is no knocking his talent, his ability, his business sense. I mean, he is one of the best that's ever stepped in the ring, and what he did worked for him. But yeah, to get to your question, I really feel that this fight wouldn't be happening if he was still under his guidance.
And I'm glad he did get out of that so this fight can happen. Like you said, it's been a while since we got to see two fighters really in their prime, get to fight and go at it. It's always the build up and the back and forth, we want to see the Crawfords and whatnot. But as far as this fight goes, yeah, man, man, I think I'm gonna go with Garcia for the long run, especially for the 12 rounds. Me personally, I think He's more of a boxer in my mind, in my eyes. Even Tank Davis is more of a hard hitter to me. I do believe if it goes under 12, a knockout, I think it's going to be Tank. But I just think if it goes for the full 12 rounds, that I think Garcia, with the combinations he throws and, and not being such a power puncher as Tank is, I think he might give him some problems in that long run. Though, when Garcia got when he hit the mat, was Campbell the only guy that put him on the mat?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe if he get hit with a punch like that from Davis, I'm not sure he's going to be able to get up and be as fine as he is. Besides that hit from Campbell, though, I've got a lot of faith in Garcia, man. That's where I'm leaning right now. But if it goes anything before 12, Tank could possibly catch him with a power punch, because that Campbell shot really opened up my eyes to Garcia. Sometimes, being able to get caught when he's, doing his exchanges back and forth.
Right. Vince, I got I've never seen so many guys excited about this fight. I mean, people outside of the sport are talking about it. Have you seen the same thing?
Yeah, it's really unique for a couple reasons. One is, they are both young and in their peaks, but Ryan Garcia has never been a full-fledged world champion, and to get to this point is a combination of his social media platform and the fact the kid is super talented and has made a lot of money outside of boxing. And then you got Tank on the other side of the street, who is, the guy's, he's come up from DC. Calvin Ford, his trainer's been with him since he was 9 years old. Multiple weight world champion. And even though he came up from a smaller weight, the guy is a chief operator. And my only thing with Ryan is, one, he's made his bones. There's no doubt about the guy has amateur experience as well, but he's stepping up to a real big level with Tank Davis. Well, I know he has a new trainer now, Joe Goosen, which Chris had brought up earlier before. That is a big it factor, but this is their first or second fight together. And one thing about trainers and fighters, man, you got to build a trust and a bond, and that takes time. I've had guys where I was with them for 2 years, 3 years. I've had guys I was with for 7 years. But once the trust is lost, or if they move on to another trainer, it's kind of hard to really implement that overnight. So a lot of times the guy's going to do what he does to get there. And Ryan Garcia, part of the reason why he's in here, because he sells out, man, and he goes for the knockout. So, personally, to me, I think it's going to be a very technical fight. It's just going to come down to who's able to implement their fight. The later it goes, it's better for Tank Davis. If Ryan Garcia, if I'm hitting him and I see the opening and I heard him, I go for it early, because he's going into uncharted territories if he goes late with Tank Davis.
Chris,
so, that's kind of
the build up to this thing. Have you seen this? It's been a while.
The build-up's great because they're both popular and young, and it's the social media factor. But this isn't on the level of Ray Leonard and Hagler to me in a boxing sense, but to the public because we're in a different time. These guys are both very popular and young, and they appeal to a different audience as well. But let's be honest. This isn't Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. We can't put it there. But it's a great fight between two very talented young guys, and Ryan Garcia has a tough task in front of him. So, is he capable? Yes, but I'm leaning more towards Tank Davis. So that's where I'm at. I'm not going to call it knockout. I'm just going to say W for Davis.
Chris, I know you don't have a lot of time with us, so I'd love to get you to chime in here.
I like what Vince said. This is more of a fight for the fans as far as these two gentlemen. Tank Davis for Ryan Garcia, and to me, the fight at 135 is the fight next month on May 20th. Between Lomachenko and the undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney. But this fight in particular, I think it's gonna say a lot, right? You touched on Ryan Garcia's amateur backgrounds. Same with Tank, man. Tank, they have a lot of amateur fights, brother. That plays a lot into like the type of professional you are, bro.
Yeah, no doubt.
So for sure, it's going to be a fantastic fight. It's a fight for the fans more or less than it is to be like the supreme lightweight, you know, guy. I don't think they're there yet, but they're close to it. They're very close to it. But as far as being the top guy, not yet. But and now if we're gonna go with picks, stylistically,
Hold off on your picks. Hold off on your picks. We'll get to the picks. Yeah,
there you go. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it.
You have to be with us the whole time, but we'll get to that. I want to first talk about. Let's first talk about their skills, what they bring to the fight. So, Saul, what does Ryan bring to the fight? What are his assets that could get him a win?
Yeah, that's what I would like to talk about. Break down a little bit about both guys' skills because, one guy, Ryan Garcia, is 23-0, 19 knockouts. Davis is 28-0, 26 knockouts. They both have a over 80% knockout rate. But I think what Ryan has is speed and that killer left hook. And I think that's going to be very dangerous for Davis in the first. That's why I say first 5-6 rounds, the first middle of the round is going to be very dangerous for Davis because the speed and the size. We got to also understand that Ryan Garcia is a bigger fighter at 135. I think they weighed themselves again today. It was around 145.9, but that was early today. When he gets in the ring later on tonight, he's going to be the bigger guy. He's 5'10". I think Davis is 5'5". So the speed, the size, I think Ryan Garcia hits harder than Davis, but he has to be. There's two fighters, they both fight each other. And that was Francisco Fonseca from Nicaragua. Remember when they both fight that guy, Ryan Garcia knocked him out on the first. Davis got him out on 8 rounds. So it took him a little while. I know that's not a comparison sometimes because boxing is about styles, But that's just to give us that I think Ryan is more of an explosive fighter in the first rounds.
I agree, big time. So it's a great assessment.
So I think as the fight goes by, Davis, I think the first 5-6 rounds, that's where Ryan Garcia needs to take advantage of his speed. Because as the fight goes by, the speed, you get tired, you start losing speed. You get a little bit slow because you're getting tired. It all going to depend on the physical condition too of both guys. If they for the kind of style of fighting, he has to bring a great condition.
Terence, how do you think? What do you think, Ryan's? I think Saul kind of said it all right there, right? In terms of his skill set. Is there anything else that you see in Ryan that would give him a win?
I mean, he has a longer reach than Tank. You know what I mean? So, if he uses his reach, he can lower him in and bring him in to hit him with that left hook, man. That's just very vicious. I've seen him set him a lot, cats down with that left hook. So I think the weight advantage, I think the reach advantage, even though Tank does have more knockouts and he is an older fighter, I think those advantages could give Garcia, a little advantage in the fight.
Chris,
I think for his chin, like I don't know what you guys mentioned. He's been down on the floor twice. One is Luke Campbell, and I forgot the other one. But he's been in the floor, I think, in two fights. I don't know if it was Domo Romero, but he's been down a couple of times. So that's also a question for me. His chin, if he's gonna be able to take David's punch power, because it's true. Davis is more is stronger than Luke Campbell. So if Luke Campbell was able to take him down, I don't know if he's capable. If he gets hit by a punch by Davis, he's gonna be capable of standing. Stay.
I think that it's less his chin and more his balance. I think if he has one really weak spot in his game is his footwork. And he has a tendency to put his weight on his back foot. And when he got dropped by Campbell, he was on his back foot and he was coming out. So Campbell I think it was he fainted, and then Garcia came out, and then boom, he dropped him. And I think that's if that's one thing. If I had him in camp, that's the one thing I would work on is when he comes in and attacks, that he's coming out at angles instead of coming backwards. And if I was in Tank's camp, that's all I'd be practicing on is feinting, waiting for him to take a step back on his back foot and pop it, because Campbell doesn't have Tank's power. Tank will with that type of with that shot. I think that'll be it for him. And that's
you also have to take into account that Luke Campbell, wasn't he an Olympian? He was a very good boxer. Like, you know, a guy that put himself in that position and set up that shot. He did it with experience. You know, I'm not saying that Tank doesn't have experience, but styles make fights, man. And the way he set that up, is what you said, the fakes, you know, and the way he came over the top, he saw he was back foot. He saw that his guard was down too. A lot of things happen in such a blink of an eye that, you know, Luke Campbell was able to take advantage of that shot. Yeah, he put him down. Yeah, I think it was a glancing blow. And to my knowledge, it's only been that one time that he's been knocked down. He got up, he fought his ass off, and he got the stoppage, you know. Tank went by and said, used that as an example. He said that, do I hit harder than Luke Campbell? I'm sure statistically he does, yes. But stylistically, it's not the same. Styles make fights. I don't think that he's going to be able to reach him the way Campbell reached Garcia that night. I think it's going to be a little different, a little harder for Tank, but he may still be able to do it. We will see.
So Vince, what do you think of Tank's? What are his attributes that's gonna put him in the win column?
Well, I mean, all the obvious ones. I mean, his experience, and his ring IQ. That's why I was saying the later the fight goes, the more he's gonna figure Ryan out. You can see the Tank's a thinking fighter. He starts slow, and he's always either even or almost losing by the time he erases or gets these guys out of there. And you know, the other thing you got to put into account as well too is, you know, activity. You know, I know Ryan Foregone taking a tune-up fight for this fight, and you know, fighters fight. You know, and the more you fight, the better you are. You know, and sparring, and you can train your ass off all day. But part of the reason why the older guys were so good, because they fought so much. Even the world champions had fought so much. I mean, Terry Norris, who was here out of San Diego, we all know. I think one year he defended his junior middleweight title 5 times. I mean, that's unheard of now, and it's because of money and guys don't have to fight that much. But I look at that, and also too, one thing I look at with Tank Davis, real quick, is his maturity. You know, in the last couple of years, we were worried about he was going to turn into like another Adrian Broner, where he turned into a knucklehead. He's in trouble with the law. But the last year or so, someone really gotten to him, and the way he speaks and the way he talks about, the guy really loves his job, and he's starting to get it. The way he speaks more to the way you can see the guy, he's enjoying what he's doing, and this is all he's doing. You know, Ryan, again, he's a great talent. You know, and there's a lot of talented athletic guys out there. But I look at a couple of things. One, I go back to the trainers. You know, Ryan, this is his 3rd trainer in a couple of years. You know, and Tank's been with Calvin Ford his whole career since he's a kid, and Calvin Ford may never train another world champion in his life, but those two are locked in. And as a trainer, you want to make sure. I mean, you got to tell a guy he's going to walk into the fire and not get burnt. He's got to believe you. And that takes a long, long time. And Ryan Garcia, you're right, Chris, styles make fights, and the kid has all the attributes to beat Tank Davis. But I don't, you know, he's got a guy that's zeroed in and a guy who wants to be great. And he wants to be great as well. But I just think he just may have a little bit more on him on that case. But this is boxing. Anything can happen. Chris is right. Styles make fights. But Luke Campbell, he's a very good English fighter. He went to the Olympics. Gervonta Davis he's a certified top finisher. So I think it's a great fight for the fans. I love everything about it. I'm just excited to see it, man. It's but I gotta lean towards Tank. I know that's only the popular vote, but I'm gonna give the guys just due, just based on the little things that I've seen a little bit from him. With his attitude change and his activity. The guy's been busy.
What do you guys think of the hydration clause and the catch weight? I mean, catch weights aren't unusual. The hydration clause, they're not as typical, but they have happened in the past. It didn't seem to at the weigh-in. Ryan looked good, and the fact.
Well, I'll say one thing real quick, and Chris can attest to this. You don't want to come into the fight 20 pounds heavier than what you weighed in at. I mean, there's no way, because in camp, already a couple weeks out, you're already within 10, 12 pounds anyway. And that's usually when you're at your peak. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, Chris. Do you? I mean, because after that, he's going to eat another couple meals. He's going to come in, but he ain't going to come in at 160. I mean, he may be at 150. But
nah, I'll use the De La Hoya and Pacquiao. Pacquiao, he can weigh as much as he wants,
yeah,
because it does weigh you down. Like that extra weight, you could say, yeah, I'll be heavier, but at the same time, you're not going to be as fast, as elusive, as mobile. So,
and during camp, you weren't weighing 20 pounds. Yeah, a week ago, you weren't 20 pounds over the weight. Or 2 weeks ago, you were. If you were, you're fucked up anyway.
Yeah, maybe the only person that it would benefit, or that it has benefited, but not late in his career, is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., where we know he ballooned a lot, and he used it for some fights. I think like when he beat up Andy Lee, like he was just so much bigger than Andy Lee, and put it on him, just pressured the shit out of him. But in this case, I don't think it's gonna matter. I think it's a matter of boxing skills. And just a lot of factors, and not necessarily the weight.
And he's 24 years old. Let's not forget, he's a young man. You can put your body through a lot of shit.
That's another thing right there. You can recover so much faster.
Yes.
So as far as the so for me, I think in terms of the matchup, I would like to see Ryan win. I just think that when it comes down to it, Davis and his ring intelligence, he's extremely, like, that's why he starts slow, like you said, Vince. He starts slow, he studies his opponents, and then he gets those knockouts because he figures out their weaknesses. And his ability to move, his footwork is, he doesn't get everybody talks about his accumulation punching, his knockout power. But I really admire the guy's footwork, his ability, because he is smaller, to be able to get in on the inside and then deliver his weapons. And I think that unless Goosen just drilled in footwork into Garcia, I think that's the one thing that is going to put Davis over the top when it comes to this matchup, is footwork. Getting in the right position and getting out of position, getting out of that kill zone. If he decides to go to war with Ryan, I think that's a mistake, because he's not going to see that left coming. That left is unreal. It's like a shotgun. I was at the Fortima fight when he knocked him out, and that it's unreal. Like, it sounds.
Yeah,
like
you didn't even see it. Yeah, you didn't even see it.
And so that's the one. It's just like if you're a one punch knockout, you're always dangerous. But when it comes to just overall skill set, when it comes to ring intelligence, I really believe that Davis. I mean, that's why he's favored. That's why he's favored overall.
I didn't even look at who's favored or not. I didn't do those stats.
All right. Well, that's a good. That's a
I
good
did
I got those
the one
stats.
time I don't check it. I don't know why. My mind's been everywhere else. I'm just looking forward to a good fight. That being said, I think a couple guys jumped the gun already, made the predictions. Armando, are we making our predictions now? What are we doing? Because I'm about
We'll get to the predictions, but okay. So because you haven't looked at it, I'll give you the odds. So Davis is minus 230, and this is as of 3 minutes ago. So
Wow, it's closing up. The gap is closing.
minus 230, and then Ryan is plus 190. So and then the over under is negative 200, or the over is 200, negative 200. The under is plus 160. Let's see what else we got.
where is it at though? What round? What
Plus
round? What are they doing?
Garcia on points is plus 650. There's some good bets. Like I love the knockout bets because that's what I always do. When I bet, I'll put something on the winner, but I always pick rounds if I think they're going to knock out. So I think Davis has got it basically plus 2,400 on the knockouts in the first round, all the way up to 2,800. So his is pretty much stacked across the board in terms of like it's the same. But
Wow.
but Garcia is plus 4,000 in the first round. So there's a lot of money there in the early rounds for Garcia, which is interesting. And then it drops off in the mid rounds, and then at the end it's plus 6,600 for in the 12th round knockout for Garcia. Do you think that I've heard a couple people say, and I don't, that the Tank does tire a little bit in the later rounds, even though he comes on late. If that makes sense. But he hasn't gone the distance much in his life, in his ring career. What's that?
Only 2 times. He has 28 fights and 6 knockouts, so he only gone the distance on 2 fights.
Yeah. So do you think that could be part of the game plan for Ryan to take him, into the championship rounds and see if he can get a knockout?
I personally do think so, and that's what I was touching on earlier. You know what I'm saying? As far as I think if it goes to full 12 rounds, that Garcia might have the advantage of that, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, Tank starts off slow, so he's going to be studying the whole half of the fight to he can get to him. Let's say he doesn't get to him or get to where he wants to get him, but these 12 rounds, that means he's going to start off behind, trying to catch up. Now we're trying to catch up. Now you probably might not be fighting the fight you're trying to fight. Now you're trying to catch up on points, and with Tank trying to maybe get closer in, since he's shorter and he's smaller, and trying to get in there to get that knockout hit.
Tagged.
He has to get tagged. But I did want to say that when I see Tank exchange punches and take one and give one at the same time, he usually is the winner of that. So if he's willing to go inside and get hit by Garcia, hopefully it ain't that left, he might be able to go in there and make some noise and do some problems. But I'm going to I truly believe if it goes the whole distance and it goes to decision, I think I'm doing the podcast live right here. Let me go ahead. Yeah, I think Garcia if it goes past 12, but if Tank creeps up in there, man, and he's gonna have to go to work, I think he could possibly hit him with one of them Campbell shots, man. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a great fight to talk about, man. Great fight.
Do you guys think that the southpaw thing gives Tank another advantage? Just that it does neutralize the left just a little bit, or is it just that left is that good that it doesn't matter?
I guess we're gonna have to find out. I mean, the last guy who fought was the southpaw. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This, you know, what's funny is like the fight's gonna be real technical because that's how Davis is, and usually Garcia is very aggressive. You know, he takes chances. I don't know. I have a feeling he's gonna go back to what got him there at some point. You know, if he can hang out and play chess with Tank Davis for a while, then and get away with it, then that would be brilliant. And he wins the decision, then we see a whole new star is born. But if I'm Goosen and he hits him, he catches Davis before he's able to really get his distance and get his timing. I mean, you go for the knockout on that motherfucker early, but that's why it's such a great fight, because so many things could happen.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, think about how many variables we went over right now and how many scenarios could happen, will happen.
Crazy.
And somebody's sure, somebody's not sure. And the truth is, I'm not very sure either, but as long as it's a good fight, I always say that, right? As long as it's a good fight, I think
majority
Armando,
draw. It's a majority draw.
Yeah, we do it again.
118, 112, 117, 113, 115, 115.
I have a question for you guys. If Ryan Garcia wins tonight, you guys think he's gonna be the new face of boxing? He's gonna be the new pay-per-view king, knowing that he has so much followers on social media, and he's a nice-looking kid, and now beating Davis, would that make him like get on top of Canelo as the number one?
Why not?
On top of Canelo, no, but he's gonna be right up there and opening the doors for bigger fights. Canelo's close to out, not that bad, but he's close to kind of be like, hey man, I'm done. I did everything. He's got a ton of money, and he might be the next one. He wins this fight, he's for sure the next one. Not right now, but for sure the next one.
And that's very interesting because both came from Golden Boy, so that means Golden Boy is doing a good job,
something right
about having right now they could be both the best pay-per-view sellers. I mean, the top pay-per-view sellers in boxing, even though Canelo's no longer with Golden Boy, but I mean, most of his career was
where he started.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Despite Oscar, they've been Golden Boy figures out a way to stay relevant. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely do a good job, Golden Boy.
All right, so before we do the predictions, let me just do this. The fights tonight, it starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's on Showtime, and the reason I'm doing this, I'll get to it. It's basically $85, $84.99. DAZN is doing their pay-per-view. I think if you're a DAZN subscriber, you can get it for $60 in the US. I'm not sure if they're taking the international feed. They're probably going to take the international feed, and so you won't hear the Showtime broadcasters on the DAZN. And then I know pay-per-view, but ppv.com is doing the same. They're taking the international feed. And then
you're going to see it for free, Borizteca.
Oh, that's right. Well, it's Teca down in Mexico. You get to watch it for free.
That's why I'm in Ensenada.
Right? Yeah, go down across the border and watch it for free.
Yeah, get some tacos, a beer, and a free fight. You can beat that.
And the reason I'm pushing it is because I really feel that I know firsthand what it's like to have people steal your pay-per-views, and so I'm total anti-piracy. So spend the money if you want to watch boxing. If you want to watch a great fight, this is the fight that you
support boxing.
It's worth it.
You just touched something very important. If we want to see Rios, we always complain about not seeing the good fights, like these kind of fights, like Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. I mean, those fights for us fans or boxing people that were involved in boxing. If we want to keep seeing these kind of fights, we got to support boxing. We got to pay that pay-per-view because those fights cost a lot of money, and that's what's gonna make these promoters be able to deliver those kind of fights if they see the money is there. So yeah, if you're gonna watch it in the US, pay for that pay-per-view. Don't use those pirate channels out there.
Recording in progress.
100%. Shit, sorry about that. Okay, so now that's done, Terence, give us your prediction. I kind of already know, but go ahead and give us give us all the details.
I don't know if I necessarily do. I have to say one name? Do I just have to say one name at the end of this rebuttal?
No, I mean, you could.
Give us the pick, brother.
Stop out there. I get
it. Especially after this conversation, thank you guys, man. Great stuff. I was thinking about Davis. That's what my heart says, but my mind lightweight is. Well, actually, my heart's saying Garcia, and my mind's saying Davis. But going over what we went through right now and just thinking about it, it's going to be some hard hits. I honestly think unless Garcia hits the mat, which is possible, but I believe if they go the whole 12 rounds, I believe Garcia is going to win the fight if they go the whole 12 rounds. If they don't, Davis will give him a knockout. I'll be surprised if Garcia knocks out Davis. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but if I have to walk away at the very end, I'm going to go with Garcia with the decision.
All right. So who you got?
Man, it's really hard. I see it like a 50-50 fight. It's really even both sides. But I think I'll go like with Terence. If we go the distance, also because I mean we gotta understand that boxing is a business and they know what's behind. If they go the distance, I think Ryan Garcia will win the decision. You know, let's face it, right? Yeah.
Money talks. Vince, who you got?
I'm going to go with Davis. I'm not going to say knockout. I think he's going to win the fight, distance or KO. You know, on the political side, you know, Davis is already a pay-per-view star. So the weight, you're right. From a business standpoint, it's probably 50-50. From a fight standpoint, it's a huge step up for Ryan Garcia. And if he's able to pull it off, that would be amazing for him. But I'm just going to go with Davis on the W because I just think he's just a little bit better and a little sharper.
All right, Chris, who you got?
I'm going to go with Garcia. I've said it from the beginning, even before the fight was made with my friends, my close friends, and like, oh, if this happens, whatever. I always felt like stylistically, Ryan Garcia should beat him. That's what I'm saying. He should beat him. You know, if everything goes to his plan, and stylistically, he should win. I'm going to put my money on Garcia.
All right. I think that this fight is a 50-50 fight. My boxing knowledge, I think Davis wins just because he's got more weapons. I would like to see Garcia win. I think that if Garcia is going to win, he's going to knock out Tank. I think that Davis in Vegas, and we didn't talk about the referees in the Vegas commission. I think Davis's style fits with the commission and the way they judge fights better. And so if I think it goes the distance, his skill set, his footwork, his ring intelligence, I think he will win the fight. Now, does that mean
you went complete opposite of what Terence says? So I think he's kind of taking a poke at you, Terence. Right there. He invited you on the podcast and taking a poke at you, bro. Complete opposite.
I mean,
you know, we can't always agree, right?
And Saul's over there teasing us all because he's getting free paper. I paid $89 on direct. Shit.
This is like a 50-50, and that's why.
No, 100% 50-50. Hey guys, real quick, I'm actually a little bit past my time. Armando, I want to thank you, man, for having me here. Vince, it was good to see you, brother. Really, man. Terence, nice to meet you, man. Saul, échale ganas, bro. I'm glad to see that you're at where you're at, and we'll get you guys going soon, man. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you, man.
Thank you. All right, guys. I appreciate your time. I really do.
No problem.
It's been fun. I hope to do more of these. This is just the first one, and so yeah, I'd love to have you back on some other big fights coming up. Maybe the Loma Haney fight. That's gonna be a fun. I can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
I can't wait for Terence for Aerospence. That's gonna be insane.
That's the fight. That's the fight.
That's the question.
Yeah, if it happens.